For our platinum sponsors, Creatrix Therapy Center, the Sensory Play Pediatric Occupational Therapy Center, Twin Town, Big Physical Therapy and Scoliosis Center, Leo Mapagu and Maria Natad Mapagu, Prutasan ni Adan, 𝘬𝘱𝑒𝑑𝑒𝑓ect Solutions Corporation, Urban Wash, Potentials Therapy Center, ⅢD Online Shop, iLearn Educational Intervention and Therapy Center, ESMA Life of Insular Life Insurance Company, Mindy Mangakay, Beyond Limits Learning and Therapy Services Incorporated, Therapy Works Incorporated, Big Jewelry Creation, for our gold sponsors, 𝘬𝐫𝐭𝐤𝐵, St. Uriel Therapy Clinic, RLIM Community Pharmacy and Medical Clinic, Building Bridges Therapy Center, for our silver sponsors, Mr. Corndog, J&T Madela Drop-Off Point, Great Times Travel and Tours, Neurosciences Unit, Pathway Therapy Center, Skin and Toes Valley Makati Branch, Pathways Center for Child Development, Down Syndrome Association of the Philippines Incorporated Cebu Chapter, Little Palm Occupational Therapy Clinic. For our ex-deal sponsors, the Company Cebu, Little Craft, Backroom Studio Cebu, Third Wave Coffee, Little Champions Academy Incorporated. Thank you once again for your support. For our platinum sponsors, Creatrix Therapy Center, the Sensory Play Pediatric Occupational Therapy Center, Twin Town, Big Physical Therapy and Scoliosis Center, Leo Mapagu and Maria Natad Mapagu, Prutasan ni Adan, 𝘬𝘐𝑒𝑑𝑒𝑣𝑒C Solutions Corporation, Urban Wash, Potentials Therapy Center, the Online Shop, iLearn Educational Intervention and Therapy Center, ESMA Life of Insular Life Insurance Company, Mindy Mangakat, Beyond Limits Learning and Therapy Services Incorporated, Therapy Works Incorporated, Big Jewelry Creation, for our gold sponsors, 𝘬𝐫𝐭𝐬𝘭𝑚𝑎𝑐, St. Uriel Therapy Clinic, RLIM Community Pharmacy and Medical Clinic, Building Bridges Therapy Center, for our silver sponsors, Mr. Corndog, J&D Madela Drop-Off Point, Freight Times Travel and Tours, Neurosciences Unit, Pathway Therapy Center, Skin and Toes Valley Makati Branch, Pathways Center for Child Development, Down Syndrome Association of the Philippines Incorporated Cebu Chapter, Little Palm Occupational Therapy Clinic. For our ex-deal sponsors, the Company Cebu, Little Craft, Backroom Studio Cebu, Third Wave Coffee, Little Champions Academy Incorporated. Thank you once again for your support. For our platinum sponsors, Creatrix Therapy Center, the Sensory Play Pediatric Occupational Therapy Center, Twin Town, Big Physical Therapy and Scoliosis Center, Leo Mapagu and Maria Natad Mapagu, Prutasan ni Adan, Side Effect Solutions Corporation, Urban Wash, Potentials Therapy Center, The Online Shop, iLearn Educational Intervention and Therapy Center, ESMA Life of Insular Life Insurance Company, Mindy Mangakan, Beyond Limits Learning and Therapy Services Incorporated, Therapy Works Incorporated, Big Jewelry Creation, for our gold sponsors, 𝘬𝐫𝐭𝐫𝘐, St. Uriel Therapy Clinic, RLIM Community Pharmacy and Medical Clinic, Building Bridges Therapy Center, for our silver sponsors, Mr. Corndog, J&T Madela Drop-Off Point, Freight Times Travel and Tours, Neurosciences Unit, Pathway Therapy Center, Skin and Toes Valley Makati Branch, Pathways Center for Child Development, Down Syndrome Association of the Philippines Incorporated Cebu Chapter, Little Palm Occupational Therapy Clinic. For our ex-deal sponsors, the Company Cebu, Lithocraft, Backroom Studio Cebu, Third Wave Coffee, Little Champions Academy Incorporated. Thank you once again for your support. For our platinum sponsors, Creatrix Therapy Center, the Sensory Play Pediatric Occupational Therapy Center, Twin Town, Big Physical Therapy and Scoliosis Center, Leo Mapagu and Maria Natad Mapagu, Prutasan ni Adan, Zydobec Solutions Corporation, Urban Wash, Potentials Therapy Center, the online shop, iLearn Educational Intervention and Therapy Center, ESMA Life of Insular Life Insurance Company, Mindy Mangakat, Beyond Limits Learning and Therapy Services Incorporated, Therapy Works Incorporated, Big Jewelry Creation, for our gold sponsors, 𝘬𝐫𝐭𝐬𝘵, St. Uriel Therapy Clinic, RLIM Community Pharmacy and Medical Clinic, Building Bridges Therapy Center, for our silver sponsors, Mr. Corndog, J&T Madela Drop-Off Point, Freight Times Travel and Tours, Neurosciences Unit, Pathway Therapy Center, Skin and Toes Valley Makati Branch, Pathways Center for Child Development, Down Syndrome Association of the Philippines Incorporated Cebu Chapter, Little Palm Occupational Therapy Clinic. For our ex-deal sponsors, the Company Cebu, Little Craft, Backroom Studios Cebu, Third Wave Coffee, Little Champions Academy Incorporated. Thank you once again for your support. For our platinum sponsors, Creatrix Therapy Center, the Sensory Play Pediatric Occupational Therapy Center, Twin Town, Big Physical Therapy and Scoliosis Center, Leo Mapago and Maria Natad Mapago, Prutasan ni Adan, 𝘬𝘐𝑒𝑑𝑒𝑣𝑒C Solutions Corporation, Urban Wash, Potentials Therapy Center, the Online Shop, iLearn Educational Intervention and Therapy Center, ESMA Life of Insular Life Insurance Company, Mindy Mangakay, Beyond Limits Learning and Therapy Services Incorporated, Therapy Works Incorporated, Big Jewelry Creation, for our gold sponsors, 𝘬𝐫𝐭𝐤𝐵, St. Uriel Therapy Clinic, RLIM Community Pharmacy and Medical Clinic, Building Bridges Therapy Center, for our silver sponsors, Mr. Corndog, J&T Madela Drop-Off Point, Great Times Travel and Tours, Neurosciences Unit, Pathway Therapy Center, Skin and Toes Valley Makati Branch, Pathways Center for Child Development, Down Syndrome Association of the Philippines Incorporated Cebu Chapter, Little Palm Occupational Therapy Clinic, for our ex-deal sponsors, the Company Cebu, Little Craft, Backroom Studio Cebu, Third Wave Coffee, Little Champions Academy Incorporated. Thank you once again for your support. For our platinum sponsors, Creatrix Therapy Center, the Sensory Play Pediatric Occupational Therapy Center, Twin Town, the Physical Therapy and Scoliosis Center, Leo Mapagu and Maria Natad Mapagu, Prutasan ni Adan, 𝘬𝘱𝑒𝑑𝑒𝑣𝑒C Solutions Corporation, Urban Wash, Potentials Therapy Center, ⅢD Online Shop, iLearn Educational Intervention and Therapy Center, ESMA Life of Insular Life Insurance Company, Mindy Mangakat, Beyond Limits Learning and Therapy Services Incorporated, Therapy Works Incorporated, Big Jewelry Creation, for our gold sponsors, 𝘬𝐵𝐻𝑑, St. Uriel Therapy Clinic, RLIM Community Pharmacy and Medical Clinic, Building Bridges Therapy Center, for our silver sponsors, Mr. Corndog, J&T Madela Drop-Off Point, Freight Times Travel and Tours, Neurosciences Unit, Pathway Therapy Center, Skin and Toes Valley Makati Branch, Pathways Center for Child Development, Down Syndrome Association of the Philippines Incorporated Cebu Chapter, Little Palm Occupational Therapy Clinic. For our ex-deal sponsors, the Company Cebu, Little Craft, Backroom Studio Cebu, Third Wave Coffee, Little Champions Academy Incorporated,
Our Heavenly Father, the fount of all goodness and grace, the cause of wisdom, the source of intelligence, we welcome you, O Lord, to this auspicious gathering of your beloved, who continuously give you thanks for every opportunity to learn something new and become fruitful to the works of your creation. We humbly come to you, not because we are worthy, but because we find ourselves in need of you, who is our strength and our hope, to continue despite the challenges we face in health, prosperity, and our solidarity with one another. We pray that today's gathering, made possible by the grace of advancements in technology and social media, becomes successful in its endeavors, so we can offer it back to you as our humble offering to honor you, glorify you, and love you through our deeper connection with everyone. May we find bliss in today's session and become more productive children and co-creators of the earth. This we ask and pray through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang mag-ibig, kaya sa sinakanan, alam ng puso, sa dikit mo'y buhay. Upang hinirang, kuya ka ng magiting, sa mandulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagatang tutok sa simoy at sa langit mong pagaw, ay hinatang tula, kawin sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na naghihingi, ang bituin at araw niya kailan ang may magdidinig. Lumang ang araw ng warhabing pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pagkay mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Hello, and happy Sunday to all. I hope everyone is enjoying a relaxing weekend. I'm seeing some lovely faces in the crowd. It's good to put a face to the names. My name is Dom, and this is KitKat. And we will be your hosts for today.
Hello and welcome. Being a part of this event is truly a pleasure, and we appreciate you, yes, each and every one of you, for being here with us today.
Yes, you said it perfectly, KitKat. In addition to that, I am sure that we're going to learn a lot today while having fun.
I couldn't agree more, and I cannot wait any longer. Let's jump right into it.
Me too, KitKat. It's very exciting, right?
Yes, definitely.
Please do the honors.
Gladly, Dom. Okay, today we will be discussing about how to EBP, a guide for fieldwork students and new professionals. The topic is about how to do evidence-based practice through the lens of an occupational therapy researcher. It aims to talk about how to get started with EBP, discuss its significance in practice, talk about the process of EBP, and help occupational therapists in confidently accepting this responsibility.
Awesome. So before KitKat introduces our speaker, I'd like to remind everyone that our speaker will answer your questions at the end of the session. Please message anyone on the tech team through Zoom chat if you have any questions or comments, and we'll get back to you later. Simply hover over the Zoom participants to see who the tech team members are and click on them to send a message. For those watching via Facebook Live, please leave your comments or questions in the comment box. We have some of our members on hand to help you throughout the webinar. Also, stay for the duration of the presentation because there will be games and prizes. Feedback forms will also be available near the end of the webinar and will serve as your ticket to claiming your e-certificate.
What a win-win situation. You get to learn and get a chance to win awesome prizes.
What a great way to put it. Yes, and I bet a lot of you can't wait. So KitKat, will you please do the honors of introducing our speaker today?
All right. I think our guest speaker needs no introduction. Here in the Philippines, he is already well known in the OT community.
Yes, real facts. But since today's topic is evidence-based practice, we can set a good example for our audience by providing evidence-based information about our speaker.
Oh yes, like teaching them what to look out for and what to consider before implementing anything.
Exactly. So without further ado, here is our resource speaker. All right. There. So Dr. Michael P. Sy is an occupational therapist, occupational scientist, and a health professions educator. Dr. Mike has just assumed a new role as a senior researcher at the Institute of Occupational Therapy, Zurich, University of Applied Sciences in Switzerland. His research interests largely revolve around occupational science, occupational justice, roles of occupational therapy in emerging fields, and interprofessional education and practice.
His work on occupational therapy expands to international contexts now that he serves as section editor in the Brazilian Journal of Occupational Therapy, peer reviewer in several international OT journals, and recently has been appointed by the WFOT as an external reviewer for educational programs. When not at work, Dr. Mike loves to go to the gym, watch historical documentaries, and have a good conversation over a cup of coffee. Encouraging everyone to show their appreciation by clicking the heart react button as we welcome our resource speaker, Dr. Michael P. Sy.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to all. Can you hear me? Ayun.
Yes.
Hello. Maayong hapon sa inyo lahat. Thank you very much for that introduction, and I'm very happy and glad once again to be invited here in Cebu Doctors University for the MAOT program. Yes, so may I ask, ayun, pwede na pala ako mag-share. Wait a moment, I'll just wait lang. Good afternoon. Ayan, may mga nagme-message. Ayan. Okay. Okay, wait a minute. There. Okay na. All right. So, thank you very much, Christine. Christine, if you're there, hello. Thank you for inviting me and to for guiding me as well in creating this lecture seminar. And actually, when I was working on this, I also learned a lot, and I have also updated myself with what EBP is really about, and nag-learn din ako sa process na ito. So today, aside from me sharing information and knowledge to all of you, I hope that I can also learn a lot from you. So this is a very short webinar, and it is really about how to do evidence-based practice in OT, especially for students who are probably in their internship, and to fresh graduates, and for those who are still new into the field of occupational therapy. Kaya naman, if you are if you've been practicing as an OT, probably you already know the other things that I'll be discussing, but I hope you still learn something and I can add something to what you already know. Okay, so again, if you have more questions, you can always email me into this email address, and you can contact me in my social media handles if you have anything, and I'll be happy to answer and try to have discussions with you on this topic or anything under the OT. Okay. So these aims were given to me by Christine, and I just tried to tweak it a little bit para lang magkaroon ng flow yung ating discussion. And the main goal for us this afternoon is to engage in a discussion on how to maximize evidence-based practice and use it purposefully and intentionally. To engage in a discussion. So, ibig sabihin, I am expecting that we will have an open forum and a question and answer session later on. Kasi ayokong ako lang yung nagsasalita. I also want others to be participating. And specifically, the discussion will be on the value and purpose of EBP. Kasi I think it's important that we know why we use this, why we need to know about and do this, right? Rather than just know the 5 steps and you don't even know why you're even doing that, or diba? So it is important that we talk about the value and purpose of EBP, and then tsaka ako papasok doon sa 5 steps on how to do EBP, and then we'll be going specifically on the different tools and the different considerations that you need to really look into when you're engaging in evidence-based practice, especially in OT. So I'll give you some tools, some free accessible tools that you can use. Kasi nga, one of your learning objectives is really to know the tools. Paano ba mag-start? Paano ba ako magsisimula? Kasi nga parang it's very difficult, and I have a systematic review that I'll share with you na talagang mahirap and maraming barriers in doing EBP, lalo na sa mga OTs. Kaya naman, at the end, I will be sharing with you ways on how to sustain yung sustainability ng doing EBP, na hindi siya dapat additive lang, but it has to be really part of our daily practice. If you know what I mean, sustainability, hindi yung parang it will expend more resources from you, it will expend more time. It should be really part of our daily practice para hindi siya nakakapagod, and it will be continued. So yan yung ano natin yan lang yung goals natin, kasi 1 hour lang ito. So kung binigyan niyo ako ng 5 hours, siguro mas madami pa yung learning objectives. Pero ito muna baka hindi niyo kayanin. So dito muna tayo. I hope you learned something from it. So the first question that we want to try to address today is really, what is the value of EBP? Okay, and why do we need to do it? So, okay so uunahan ko na kayo with the WFOT position statement Okay, so in 2021, sabi ng WFOT, we do EBP to enable quality, updated, efficient, effective, and client-centered services. Okay, so there's no question in that. The reason why we do this is because of these things. And yun naman talaga yung gusto natin for our patients and our clients, diba? In anything that we do as OTs, kung gusto nating paniwalaan tayo ng ibang professions, kailangan natin talagang mag-EBP. Otherwise, tuloy-tuloy lang din yung doubt ng mga tao, ng public sa OT, and they will just go to other professions to seek the services that we can actually give if we don't do it. And according to the PAOT standards of practice, I don't know, I'm sure you're familiar with this. It is available in the website of the PAOT, and the use of research evidence is under Section 9. It's under the continuous quality improvement section. Hindi nila specifically sinabi yung EBP as a term. Kasi as you know, 1997 pa yun yung document na yun. It was originally from 1997 kasi feeling ko hindi pa ginagamit yung term na EBP noon. So, pero syempre nung in-update nila, under siya ng Section 9. So you can just read to that. So ibig ko lang sabihin, the PAOT advocates for EBP. Okay, so internationally and locally, we are encouraged to be engaging in EBP. So now, according to Upton in 2014, EBP is an approach for clinicians. More sa clinicians to ascertain their clinical decisions to improve outcomes, reduce costs, and keep high standards. Okay, remember, ano ang outcome na gusto natin when we do EBP? Una, to achieve OT outcomes. For example, occupational participation, occupational justice, well-being, ganyan, o kaya remediation, ganon, adaptation. Yan yung mga outcomes na gusto natin. And ang tanong ko sa inyo, mamaya, wag niyo muna ako sagutin. Pero my question is, nagche-check ba kayo ng outcomes? How do you check your outcomes? Okay? Anong ginagamit yung tools and measurements to check your outcomes? O, yun, di ba? O, kaya tayo nag-EBP. Pangalawa, reduce costs for the patients. Nag-EBP tayo para hindi tumagal yung patient sa OT. Okay? So, ang pasyente natin, hindi dapat tumatagal sa atin ng 10 taon. Okay? Kahit sabihin mong developmental disability yan. They have to be discharged. They have to move forward, mga kapatid. Hindi pwedeng forever na lang sila sa atin, ha? They have to move on. Kung kayo gusto nyo mag-move on, ha? Ipa-move on din natin ang mga patients. Reduce the cost. Pangatlo, to keep high standards. Diba? It's very fulfilling na, uy, na-discharge ko yung pasyente. Okay na siya. Nakakapag-grocery na siya. Nakakapag-jeep na siya. Nakakapag-work na siya. I recently had a patient messaging me. He was my client when he was in grade 4. He messaged me and sent me his diploma in college. He showed me that he just received his diploma at the University of Asia in the Pacific, finishing AB Political Science. And, di ba, hindi na siya nag-OT for a long time, but you see, na dahil na-discharge, naka-move forward yung client. And hindi lang yun, no? There are a lot of my previous clients updating me. May isa nga Instagram na siya ngayon. Nagre-review na siya ng mga toys ngayon, no? Di ba? Parang influencer kasi yung mami niya vlogger. So it's fulfilling to see that, no? And we do EBP according to Upton. We do EBP because we want our profession to survive in this ever-changing healthcare. As you know, there is a threat that OT can be replaced by some professions in the future. Okay? And we don't want that. Kaya we have to keep on doing EBP. And we need to keep on doing research. Otherwise, mawawala na lang talaga yung profession natin at mapapalitan. And we don't want that. Okay? So, I hope we have an understanding of why we need to do it. Now, I want to ask, what does evidence in EBP mean? Kasi parang it is important to know for us. Ano nga ba yung evidence? Ano ba yung ibig sabihin yan? Okay, so there are two types of evidence that we can use when we do EBP. First, syempre yung pinaka-traditional, yung empirical tradition. Ito yung mga research evidence. And this is largely based on quantitative data. And as you can see on the right, you can see the levels of evidence triangle. Familiar ba kayo dito? Yung levels of evidence? Yung at the bottom of the triangle is the sinasabi nila low quality of evidence, which is based on background information, yung nakukuha niyo sa interview. Okay? Tapos expert opinion. Okay, so katulad nitong webinar na to, itong ginagawa natin, although I'm not an expert, pero sige, sabihin niyo na, ikaw kasi resource speaker, so parang ikaw yung may alam, considered siya doon sa ilalim, parang expert opinion, parang ganon. And then as you go higher, case reports, cohort studies, yung cohort studies could be survey research, ganyan. And then randomized control trial. Tapos yung highest level is yung systematic reviews and meta-analysis. Okay, so ang ibig sabihin nito is we need to base our interventions, evaluation interventions and discharge planning as OTs, we need to base it on these studies. Okay, these studies. Pero kasi, it is also important na hindi tayo na-fixate lang dito sa mga evidence na ito. Kasi sometimes, ito, let me tell you this. Sometimes, wala namang wala namang mga studies sa Philippines. Local studies, di ba? Parang, ang hirap, parang yung population iba. Hindi naman applicable, right? Kaya, titingin na lang tayo sa systematic review. Kasi at least yun, mas generalizable yung results nila. But anyway, if local studies are really problematic, by the way, I don't want to discount. Marami tayong studies na ginagawa. Sa masters, sa bachelors, marami. Kaya lang hindi sila napapublish. Yun ang problema. So katulad niyan, minsan magre-request ako ng unpublished thesis. Diyos ko, ang hirap-hirap mag-request. Nag-request ako sa library ng CDU. Inabot ng 3 buwan para lang makuha yung isang unpublished thesis. So ang hirap, di ba? As compared if it's published, it's easier to get. Pero sana nag-improve na ngayon, no? Ayan. Nakuha ko naman sa CDU library. Nakuha ko naman, pero ayan. And number 2, another type of evidence is really itong mga lowly considered pero napakahalagang evidence yan. Una, professional expertise. Maging confident naman tayo sa experience natin. Confident hindi masyadong mayabang magkaiba yon. Ibig sabihin, we need, for example, ako, I've been an OT for 14 years. So, may confidence ako na, I've been working naman as an OT for 14 years. Okay? Or ikaw, kunyari, nag-work ka as an OT for 5 years. Yan, medyo ka na yan. Medyo, masasabi mo nang marami ka ng experience. Pero pagka less than a year ka pa lang, wag mo munang sabihin. Pero, gets nyo? So, professional expertise. Tsaka, ipagmalaki nyo naman ng bahagya na bahagya lang hindi ko sinasabing ipagmalaki nyo ng todo pagmalaki nyo na nag-aral kayo sa university at nakakuha kayo ng lisensya para masabi na you are an expert in a way. Pero hindi ko kasi masyadong inaano yun parang sinasabi ko lang meron po akong qualification para masabi yan. Pangalawa, patients' experiences. Yung condition nila, yung values nila, yung preferences nila. When we do our interviews with them, we have to always consider that these are very important evidence. Very important yan. Lalo na when we are creating our intervention plans, when we are providing recommendations, when we are doing our interventions, discharge planning, napakahalagang data niyan. Okay? And of course, yung consideration of context and environments. Especially now with technology. Napakahalaga na pwede nyo po bang kunyari nasa clinic kayo, tapos yung patient nasa bahay, pwede yung telehealth, pwede niyo po ba akong iikot sa bahay niyo? Pwede niyo po bang iikot yung cellphone niyo? Gusto ko pong makita yung banyo niyo po, gusto ko pong makita po yung saan po yung kwarto ng bata or no, saan po si lolo nagsistay. Guys, ang telehealth hindi siya bago dahil the pandemic ha, matagal na ang telehealth. Gamitin natin siyang mabuti. It's not an option. Okay? So, kasi pag hindi natin kino-consider yung environment, yung context, yung family dynamics, magsasuggest tayo at magre-recommend tayo ng mga bagay na ika-frustrate nila. For example, magsasuggest kayo ng wheelchair. Tapos yung papunta pala sa bahay nila, wala palang daanan. Or yung pinto nila masyadong maliit. Kasi hindi mo tinignan yung home context. And let us use technology as much as possible, okay, to assess the context of the home and the environment of our patients. Pangalawa, as OTs, it is our responsibility to visit them, ha? To really go and see what's happening in their homes. As in, kunyari talagang kailangang i-modify yung environment. Hindi ba yung PEO? Naalala niyo ba yung PEO? O masyado kayong focus sa P, sa person? Minsan nga nakakalimutan pati O yung occupation. Kasi puro work behaviors, tantanan nyo yan. Occupational therapy kayo. So occupation should be at the foreground. Environment should never be forgotten. Kung hindi nyo kayang pumunta sa bahay dahil nasa baryo ang inyong patient, gumamit ng video call. Diba? O, hindi pa kayo babiyahe, pero makikita nyo yung environment. Okay? Yun pala. Kaya pala nagkaroon ng diarrhea kasi malapit sa estero nakatira, yung mga ganon. You will know the context. And these are really good evidence to help you with your plan and your intervention and discharge plan. Okay? Okay ba tayo doon? So, I just want to emphasize that there are two types of evidence that we can use. The first one is the empirical evidence that we get from research. And the second one is the evidence that we get from our patients. Okay. So, what now are the 5 steps of EBP? I'm sure you already know this. I'm sure, alam nyo na to. Kasi even sa bachelor's, inaaral nyo naman to. But we will just go through it again and review. And then, I'll give you some tips. I'll give you some tools. Para naman magmukhang enjoyable yung EBP. Hindi yung parang, ano ba to, EBP, ang hirap or something. Okay. Dapat nga nananalaytay sa mga dugo natin yan hindi ba? Okay. So, there are 5 steps. The first one is to develop a clinical question. Then you will assimilate the best possible evidence according to your question. Number 3 is to do a systematic and critical appraisal of the evidence that you've gathered. Number 4 is to apply this evidence in your intervention. And number 5 is to evaluate and revise. Ano ba yung mga dapat mong i-revise? Kaya nga meron tayong tinatawag na re-evaluation. Nagre-re-evaluate tayo every 3 months, every 6 months. Okay? We do not just re-evaluate because kailangan ng check-up ng pasyente sa doktor. Okay? That's not how it is. We re-evaluate because we want to see if what we are doing is effective or not, and if we need to change it or not. Okay? So before we go to the different steps, I just want to share with you a study by Johnson et al. In 2020, and ito yung listahan ng mga different activities that they used for OT students para maka-demonstrate sila ng evidence-based behaviors. I think this was in the UK. I think UK ito. And ito yung mga sample, no? So, Kung makikita nyo yung yellow na mga bar, it means ito yung mas ginagamit, no? So let's look at yung nasa tuktok number 1. Use evidence to change my clinical practice. So marami yan. Collected data on a patient. Yung mismong patient yung nagbigay ng data. So ibig sabihin talagang ginagamit ang patient information for EBP. Access Cochrane databases. So Cochrane, familiar with Cochrane? Pero there are also others, yung if you look at the blue, yung hindi nila ginagamit masyado would be accessing guidelines from international networks. So minsan nakakalimutan nating pumunta sa 𝘚𝘚𝑗𝐻 website, meron silang bagong tool, Quest. I can send that to you later on. Quest. It's a way on how OTs can do EBP. Ano pa ba ibang mga activities? Share the outcome data collected with colleagues. Okay, hindi raw yan masyadong nagagawa. Shared evidence from a research study with a patient family, etc. So, I can give you a copy of Johnson's paper and you can take a look at ano ba yung mga iba't ibang activities na pwede nating gamitin to practice and how to do EBP. Now, my question is, among all these activities, ano na yung na-try ninyo? Okay, in relation to engaging in EBP, pwede nyong i-chat. Ilagay na lang muna sa chat box yan. Ano na yung mga na-try ninyo among all these things? Or maybe kahit wala dyan sa listahan na yan, pwede nyong idagdag na para. Ito po yung ginagawa namin para makapag-engage sa EBP. Okay, so for example, are you using OT tools na validated? Gumagamit ba kayo ng OT tools na for client-centered practice? Mga ganyan. Okay. Pangalawa, for example, do you have journal reading and journal reporting every month sa clinics nyo? Yung mga ganon? Do you do that? Okay, or meron ba kayong team meetings to discuss a patient case? Mga ganon, no? So, sana meron. Kasi kung wala, nakakaloka yun. Kung kunyari sa clinic, dire-diretso lang kayo na mamasyente tapos wala naman kayong time to discuss, medyo nakaka-bother yun, ha? Kasi, paano nyo masasabing may quality kayo? Puro quantity na lang ba? Paramihan ng pasyente tapos wala na kayong time to do your EBP. Sige. So yun yung list. I'll share that with you later on. So step 1, developing a clinical question. So ang sabi dito, when we want to develop a sound clinical question, we need to follow the PICO or the patient problem, intervention, comparison, intervention, and outcome. Itong abbreviation na yan, no? When we are trying to create a clinical question. So first we ask, describe the population or the clinical problem. So it could be children with autism, it can be stroke rehabilitation for persons with stroke na COVID, pwedeng ganon. Or it can be mental health, okay? Mental health of people who were unemployed during the pandemic, yung mga ganyan. Okay? And then we want to ask the question for intervention. Ano ba yung main intervention na ginagamit ngayon? Ano na yung pinaka-approach na ginagamit? Ano yung mga prognosticating factors? Or ano yung mga exposure na kino-consider natin, no? So, what are the main interventions? Ano yung mga, for example, for children with cerebral palsy, okay? So, kung meron kayong clients na merong neurodevelopmental delays because of acquired brain injury, ano yung mga interventions na ginagamit? Or kasi ganito yan. Okay, kaya ko to ini-emphasize is because ang napapansin ko sa Philippines is usually we just use interventions that are trendy or, so to speak, sikat or popular. Ang tanong ko doon is, evidence-based ba yun? Okay? Is that something that ginagamit ba talaga siya sa ibang bansa? Okay, so may systematic review na ba about it? Okay, so tingnan niyo yung Cochrane, tingnan niyo yung mga ganon, no? Before kayo kasi 'di ba ang daming mga certifications ngayon, okay naman yun. Kaya lang, before kayo pumunta sa mga certifications na yun, tingnan muna natin, evidence-based ba yan? Okay, anong evidence yan? Anong evidence meron yon? Okay? So, be careful, ha? And then, of course, what is the main alternative to compare with the intervention? So, ano ngayon yung, pwedeng ito yung traditional intervention, and then you also need to compare it to different approaches na pwedeng, kunyari, hindi pwede dun sa patient or dun sa population yung ganito. Kasi 'di ba may mga ganun tayong clients na hindi umi-effect. So we need to look for alternative interventions. Okay? And O, outcomes is what are you trying to accomplish? Ano ba yung goals? Ano ba yung outcome measures na tinitingnan natin? Okay? So, yan yung mga kailangan ninyong tanungin in order for you to create a good and sound clinical problem. Okay, you can go to this website and I can share that with you, and para makita niyo yung step by step on how to go about it. But remember the PICO, no? So you need to look into that. So step number 2, ngayon alam niyo na yung clinical problem niyo. Kailangan niyo nang i-assimilate yung mga best possible evidence. So where do you go? You first go to electronic databases such as PubMed and CINAHL. PubMed kasi is medicine, CINAHL is allied health. So you can ask your library after our webinar, maybe tomorrow, you can ask if you have access to PubMed and CINAHL. Okay, in your library in CDU. And you can, of course, always do hand searching. Hand searching yung naalala nyo yung unang panahon, yung sa library, yung mga cards. You can do that, or when you say hand searching today is yung ikaw talaga mismo yung maghahanap sa internet, sa Google Scholar, ganon. Nahanapin mo isa-isa kung meron kang makita, or ResearchGate, ganon. So pwede mo yung tingnan. And if, of course, pagka hindi mo pwedeng i-access, you can always contact the author to ask for a copy of that paper. Please contact your university librarian if they have courses for you to learn how to use the electronic databases, or if they have manuals, please attend that. And of course, your librarian should be able to help you in doing your searches in PubMed or CINAHL. Okay. My experience kasi in UP when I was still there, I just tell the librarian, can you look for example, I asked her to, can you look for papers about play and playgrounds? So binigyan ako ng 25 na list ng librarian ng mga papers on ganun kasi yun yung job ng mga librarians to really search for us. Well, at least as a student, you can ask for help. Pwedeng ikaw yung gagawa, pero magpapatulong ka sa kanila. So, huwag niyong kalimutan na kailangan best friend natin ang mga librarian. Best friend natin yung mga yan, okay? And then, syempre, once you already know your databases, importante, lalo na sa inyong level, on a master's level, importante na alam niyo ang MHPED or yung medical subject heading terms. So in PubMed and CINAHL, meron silang mga categories of different topics. So kailangan alam ninyo yung content knowledge, anong gusto kong alamin? Cerebral palsy. So under siya ng neurosciences, neurology, children. So naka-categorize. So kailangan ikaw mismo, you know where to look. Okay? So it will really narrow down your search if you know your mesh. And of course, if you need to study Boolean operators, yung mga and or with, alam niyo yun, yung kuwari mag-search ka, di ba? Parang occupational therapy and cerebral palsy, for example. So yung mga, may mga codes kasi yan eh. And I think meron din yung website on how to do it, yung basic, para mas maging narrow at mas maging specific yung mga searches ninyo. Hindi yung parang you're searching in an ocean of literature. Ang hirap nun, di ba? Parang 35,000 yung search matches mo, 35,000. So pagka ganun, masyadong madami, ang gagawin mo, you need to be more specific. You need to know your terms para mas specific siya. So, hindi kasama sa goals natin tong pag-aaral ng Boolean operator sa medyo may pagka-logic and mathematics to. So, i-leave ko na yan muna sa inyo. Pero at least you already know what to do. Okay? So, you need to know your mesh terms, how to do it, and you need to know your Boolean operators. Yung mga and, or, with, yung mga ganon, tsaka yung mga paglalagay ng mga asterisks, ganyan. So, I can share you some resources on that so you can have an idea what to do. Okay? So, that's number 2, and then we go to number 3. So, assuming na nakapag-gather na kayo ng mga best evidence and you are left with, sabihin na natin, you are left with 25 articles. Ito na yung articles na pwedeng sumagot doon sa clinical question ko. So, ang gagawin nyo na ngayon is maki-critical appraisal na kayo ng evidence. And you can go to the Critical Appraisal Skills Program, which provides free and open access tools that will help you identify if the studies that you've gathered are of quality. So, for example, if you got, dun sa 25, you have 5 systematic reviews. Meron siyang checklist. Parang assessment. Ito, sinagot niya to. Ito, hindi niya sinagot. Ito. Tapos may score. Tapos, kung qualitative naman yung research na nakuha mo, meron din siya. Pag case control, meron din siya. So, parang checkan mo lahat. Titingnan mo kung okay ba siya or hindi. Okay ba siya or hindi. Or low, or parang, okay, this is a paper that tries to answer my question. Kaya lang, low quality. Tapos meron din naman, naku, ito talaga very high quality to. So, ito gusto ko tong gawing basis para ma-inform yung aking practice. Okay? So ito, ano siya website siya. You can go here, cast-uk.net/cast-tools checklist. Pag nagpunta kayo dyan, ano yan, open access yan. As in, PDF or Word format, pwede mo yung i-download. Okay? So, ayan na. So, pwede nyo yan tingnan. And then number 4, of course, i-apply mo na ngayon yung evidence na nakuha mo. Okay, to address your clinical problem. Ngayon, syempre hindi na ako makapagbigay ng mga specific tools kasi it depends on your clinical question. Ngayon, ang iniwan ko na lang dito would be yung mga questions ko na pwede niyo na masagutin in your own. No? So, when you are applying evidence into your own OT practice, number 1, my first question is, how do you decide the assessment tools that you will use for eval? Okay. So, even at the start of your OT, in your IE, yung initial eval nyo, it is important that doon pa lang tinitingnan mo na ano ba yung common practice, ano ba yung gold standard sa paggamit ng assessment tools. So in my case, ako pagka may patient akong tinitingnan, unang-una kong ginagamit yung Canadian Occupational Performance Measure. Nagsi-COPM muna ako. Bakit? Kasi COPM will let me know if the child really needs OT or not. Meron na akong ginamitan ng COPM tapos na-realize namin na speech ang kailangan niya, hindi OT. Kasi okay siya sa occupations. Okay siya sa self-care, okay siya sa lahat. Ang problema lang niya as in, in-explore na namin, may problema po ba sa toileting, may problema po ba sa feeding, ay wala sir, kaya niya yan lahat, ganyan, kaya niya yung writing, walang problema. Anong problema? Communication. Ay di, hindi siya OT. Pang-speech siya. So, kasi pag kinuha ko pa din siya, evidence-based ba yon? Hindi. Kahit sabihin mong nagpa-check sa akin, tapos ang main concern, speech and communication, tapos i-OT ko pa. Ano yan, for work behavior? Wala namang lumabas na work behavior doon sa screening ko, sa assessment ko. So sinabi ko that the child does not need OT, recommend for speech. Okay? So evidence-based, kailangan. So pagka may nakita kayong occupational issues, ako kasi ganun very top down ako ha, yun ang bias ko, declare ko lang ha, very top down ako. So pagka walang occupation issues, hindi ko yan, sa tingin ko yan, hindi yan kailangan ng OT at this point. Baka mas kailangan pa niyang pumunta sa iba munang professions, okay? Or pwede nang dumiretso sa school kasi hindi na niya talaga kailangan. Kasi why waste time? 'Di ba? Okay? Pero kunyari may nakita kayong sensory regulation issues, matindi talaga. Anong gagamitin? Sensory profile. Okay? Pag meron nakitang issues talaga on visual perception, di gagamit ng mga tools, no? But of course, you need to make sure that you have the tools available. Otherwise, you need to look for alternatives. Kaya nga important may EBP eh. Ano yung alternative? Kasi hindi naman lahat meron eh. Di ba? Tama ba? Hindi naman lahat ng hospital clinic meron ng mga tools na yon. So, anong gagawin mong alternative? O sige, magda-dynamic performance assessment ka na lang. Okay lang din yun kasi evidence-based naman yun eh. Alam niyo ba yung dynamic performance assessment? Remember? Or occupational analysis, activity analysis. Kunyari, very specific yung issue nung ni Lolo. Ang gusto niya ulit is makakain. Di i-observe mo. Paano siya kumain ng lugaw? Ay, may spilling. Pa-videohan mo. I-video mo. Evidence yun eh. Kasi DPA yan. Magdi-DPA ka. Mag-occupational analysis ka. Yun ang assessment mo. Kasi OT ka eh. Pwede mo yung gamitin. Tandaan nyo yan. Ang tanong ko, pag nag-IE ba kayo, nag-activity analysis pa rin ba kayo? Tandaan nyo, di ba nung second year, first year, second year, yan yung pinaka-main. But, ang tanong ko, bakit sa mga OT eval ngayon? Minsan nakakakita kong OT eval, walang AA. Sabi ko, nasa yung AA? OT kayo, dapat na AA kayo magaling, di ba? Tama. Dapat, alam niyo ba, dapat AA yan, pinakamagaling tayo dyan. Tayo lang ang pwede gumawa ng AA. Kasi tayo ang train dyan. Okay? So, assessments. How do you decide? Okay, ito bang assessment na to? Enough ba na nag-clinical observation lang ako? Or parang hindi enough eh. Parang kailangan ko pa rin i-assess yung bahay, yung school. I need to go to the school. I need to see it. Okay, ilalagay niyo yun kung kailangan. Para kunyari, sakaling kailangan nyo mag-observe sa school, you inform the parent that there is a need. And if payag naman yung parents or yung family na idalhin kayo dun sa school, di kasama yun sa payment nyo supposedly. Kasi part yun ng assessment. And remember, assessment should not be just one session. It's ongoing. Okay? Hindi siya dapat nagagawa in one session. Paano kunyari yung child iyak nung IE? Hindi nyo yun pwedeng gawing assessment. Kailangan yung pagka bumalik ulit yan, continuing assessment yon. Kasi nga you cannot assess a child, a person in 1 hour. It has to be continuous until ma-complete mo yung data na kailangan mo. Okay? So, ano yan I'm trying to break cultures here. I'm sorry kung merong na-offend, pero that's how it is if we want quality. Hindi siya pang isahang bagsak na assessment. Kasi hindi naman lagnat sipon yan yung mga tinitingnan natin. Okay? Hindi lang malalagay ka temperature sa kilikili. Tapos, 30, 39. Hindi ganun ang patients natin Complicated issues sila So, we need time. So, ako ang ginagawa ko, 3 sessions. 3 weeks para makita ko talaga yung kabuuan. Para pag nag-report ako, maayos, comprehensive. Okay? Hindi yung ilalagay ko sa IE, umiyak lang yung bata. Anong kasay-say nun? Tapos sasabihin nyo, kailangan niya ng OT 5 times a week kasi iyak ng iyak. Hindi yun evidence-based. Emotions-based yun. Emotions-based. Okay, mali naman yun. Hindi yun tama. Number 2, how do you set and frame your OT goals for your clients? Yan. Isa pa yan. Ako ang ginagamit ko pagka nagsiset ako ng goals is the goal attainment scale. The goal attainment scale. Alam niyo ba, familiar ba kayo doon? Yung gas. Maraming studies na yung gumagamit ng gas. Yung yung plus 2, plus 2, plus 1, 0, negative 1, negative 2. So, yung mga goals na ginagamit ko, it depends. Parang siniscale ko siya, yung adaptation level. Tapos, kunyari, ngayon, ang level niya, negative 1 siya. Okay, ito yung status ko niya, negative 1 during the assessment. Tapos, gagawa ako ng goals na 0, plus 1, plus 2. So, after 6 months, titingnan ko, nasa na siya? Sa feeding, kunyari. Uy, plus 1 na siya. Nasa plus 1 na siya. Nakikita ko na nag-i-improve. O sige, mami, plus 1 na siya after 6 months. O, ibaba na natin tong plus 1, gawin na nating negative 1. Ano pang goal natin? Ay, sir, happy na kami dyan kasi talagang nakakakain na siya ulit. Kaya lang may konting pero at least makikita mo, nag-i-improve. Sa goals mo pa lang, nakikita mo na yung improvement. And because when I set my goals, I always ask the parents kung approve ba sila sa goals na sinet ko. I never make the goals alone. When I make the goals, I always show to the parents, Mommy, Daddy, itong IE na to, draft pa lang ito. Bago ko pirmahan, pwede nyo po bang tignan kung okay po ba itong goals na ito? Kasi di ba minsan magsiset sila ng goals. O sige, ipapaset mo goals. Sobrang taas naman ng goals nung client. Na medyo in your clinical reasoning, medyo alam mo na parang imposible yata. So ikaw ngayon yung medyo ifo-formulate mo yan for them. Yan yung trabaho natin as OTs Yung ina-adapt natin, yung ina-adjust natin. Tapos ipapakita mo sa kanila yung goals. Sabi, Mami, Daddy, or Lolo, Lola, okay po ba ito? Ay, okay na ako dyan. O, di pag umokay sila, pirmahan mo na. Big sabihin, may mutual understanding kayo. May consent. Para pagka nag-set kayo ng goal, sasabihin natin, Lolo, Nay, Tay, 3 months na wala pa rin tayong improvement. Ba't kaya? Okay. Umagri kayo dyan, di ba? Ako ganun ako minsan sa patient Yung rapport ko ba, yung TUS ko, Nay, di ba nag-agree tayo dito sa goal? Bakit hanggang ngayon ganyan pa rin yung ginagawa ni tatay? Ay, oo nga. Sige. Di ba kasi meron silang accountability. Na, hindi yung parang, baka mamaya kasi pag ikaw lang ang nag-set ng goal, ang sabihin, ikaw lang naman nag-set niyan Hindi naman kami umagri dyan O sino ngayon ang dehado? Di ang OT. Kaya dapat may accountability. Oo, Nay umagri tayo dito. Ano nangyari? 2 months na, 3 months na, wala pa rin ako nakikita. Galaw-galaw tayo, Tay, Nay, di ba? Yan ang TUS. Merong guilt. Ipapag-guilt natin sila. Minsan nga tumatawa na lang, oo nga, naku, patay tayo kay Hindi naman patay, parang lagot tayo kay OT. Hindi, pero kasi pag ganun, feeling nila, naku, chine-check talaga ako nung therapist. Okay, talagang may care si therapist. Gusto talaga kaming mag-improve, di ba? May ganung feeling. I think they like that. 'di ba? Okay. So GAS scale, goal attainment scale, you can search that in. It's well used with COPM. There are different ways pa rin to make goals, pero yun yung isang way to do it. And also, siguro before I move to the next is, pag nag-goal setting ako, especially in EBP, occupations talaga yung focus. As in, occupation, talagang yung areas of occupation ang ultimate outcome. So for example, hindi lang makapaglakad ang goal or hindi lang makagalaw ang goal is really to do groceries, ganyan. As in, diretso sa occupation ako. Okay? Of course, depends pa rin yan sa case. Pero kailangan at the end of the day, kahit sabihin mong bottom up yung approach kasi acute care. Nasa ospital kayo. Acute care naman yan eh. Pero ang goal pa din dapat yung daily living activities. 'Di ba? O kaya malilift niya yung head niya ulit para makanood ng TV. Tama ba? O kaya makanood ng Netflix. Nakukuha niyo yung point ko na hindi lang malift yung head or hindi lang magalaw yung kamay. Yung kamay gagalaw, anong gagawin ng kamay? Makapagtimpla ng kape. Tama. Kasi minsan, alam mo, ito yun, minsan naaano ako, nakakalimutan na natin yung occupation, sa totoo lang. Kasi parang puro body functions ang focus. So, minsan nakakalungkot kasi nako-compare tayo sa mga na PT o kaya sa, syempre love natin yung mga PT friends natin. Pero nako-compare tayo sa PT, nako-compare tayo sa behavioral therapist, psychologist. Tapos magtataka tayo, bakit yung OT hindi kami kilala? Kasi hindi nyo pinapakilala yung occupations. Kaya lito-lito yung mga tao, okay? Kaya I think it's about time that we focus talaga on occupational goals. Pangatlong question ko, how do you work with a team? How do you collaborate with other health and social care professionals? Okay? So I think it is important na you will really have to work in teams. Okay, huwag kayong mahihiyang magsabi sa mga speech therapists, o merong communication issues tong client ko. Punta kayo sa PT, consult kayo sa doktor, consult kayo sa neuro, consult kayo. Hindi enough na ginagawa lang natin yung work natin. We have to always inform others and be informed by others. Okay? Hindi yan dapat nawawala. Evidence-based din kasi yan, yung collaboration, collaborative practice. Pang-apat is, what practices are you continuously using that are not evidence-based? Ito classic example. Ito, matagal ko na itong iniisip. I-share ko lang sa inyo. Don't, ano ko lang to, this is just me. This is my personal, example. Bakit yung mga OT kumakanta pa rin ng papam-papam before you start the OT session? I mean, pwede namang mag-start without it. Evidence-based ba yun? I mean, sige, okay lang kung gusto mong mag-establish ng rapport. Kaya lang, pang 35 session yun na. May rapport naman na kayo. Kailangan nyo pa bang kumanta ng papam-papam? Or ng any nursery song? O kaya, bakit kayo nyo kinakantahan ng nursery song yung 10-year-old? Ano yun? Dahil yun na lang yung routine? Okay. Ano ko lang yan na example lang. Evidence-based ba yun? Siguro kung ang goal mo noon is, siguro for the first 3-4 sessions, you want to establish rapport, you want to sing, it's okay. Pero if you've been doing it every 4 months, para saan yung singing? Bakit kasama siya doon sa notes? Bakit kasama siya doon sa interview? Naintindihan nyo? Bakit kayo for example, bakit kayo gross motor, yung play, may tawag doon eh, yung lumulusot-lusot sa, sorry, yung lumulusot sa mga, tawag doon, jungle gym or something. Di ba pinapaganon niya sila? May tawag doon eh, I forgot. Hardware, Heavy work ba yun? Heavy work? Oo. Nagpapa-heavy work kayo pero actually yung bata marunong na mag-sit. Di ba minsan parang pwede na dumiretso doon sa dumiretso na kayo doon sa kasi kung nagsisit na siya, bakit niyo pa siya ipapaano? Anong tawag diyan? So minsan nagiging routinary. Nawawala na yung essence nung session. Okay, so pag-isipan niyo kung ano ba yung mga practices na ginagawa niyo na hindi naman to evidence-based, baka pwede ko nang i-do away with it. Nakukuha niyo ba? Sorry ha kung I mean ako din guilty ako sa ganyan. Minsan parang oo nga no, ba't ko ba 'to ginagawa hindi naman na 'to evidence-based. So gusto ko lang siyang i-share sa inyo because this is also based on my experience, not to create a negative Pero 'di ba, important 'yun eh. Remember ha, yung 1 oras binabayaran sa inyo. Tapos I heard mahal na ang bayad. So, i-maximize nyo yung kasi instead na magpagawa kayo ng mga ganon, bakit hindi nyo na lang i-spend yung time for parent care, parent coaching? Mas damihan nyo yung time sa parent coaching. Especially pag yung parents medyo aloof. Kasi yun yung mas kailangan rather than yung kumanta kayo ng 10 minutes, tapos nag-heavy work kayo ng 10 minutes. Ano na lang natira sa session nyo? Tapos kakanta na naman kayo sa ending. Lalo na sa mga pedia practitioners. Okay. So, yan yung aking mga question na baka pwede nyo nang alisin yung mga unnecessary tasks, preparatory tasks. Kasi nga, baka kahit kung hindi naman siya evidence-based, wag nyo nang gawin. Okay? Okay, number 5, last step. Evaluation of outcomes and revising the process steps, the previous steps in the process. So, ang mga question ko naman dito is how do you again evaluate your outcomes? So in my case, my experience is when you use the COPM after 6 months or after 3 to 6 months, I can go back and check what we have set. Ano yung sinet namin? May improvement ba sa importance? May improvement ba sa satisfaction? May improvement ba sa performance? So meron siyang numerical grading. And the grading really comes from the family and the client. So talagang makikita namin after 3 to 6 months kung meron pagkakaiba. At may computation yun. I am not saying that COPM is the best of the best, but at least meron akong evidence to say that merong improvement yung patient after 3 to 6 months. And I always anticipate na may improvement siya. Otherwise, after 6 months, pag walang improvement, ibig sabihin, hindi ako effective. Hanap na lang kayo ng ibang therapist. Sa totohanan, ako, I really anticipate na nag-improve. Kung pwede nga lang in 6 months ma-discharge Kasi doon ko makikita na effective akong therapist. Okay? Pangalawa, how do you consider clients' preferences, values, context in doing EBP? Okay? So, ako lagi, as part of the interventions that I do, talagang lagi kong tinatanong, ano po ba yung preference nyo? Ano po ba yung values nyo? Minsan, pati religion, tinatanong ko. Kasi, mamaya, mag-recommend ka ng baboy, Muslim pala yung family. Or may Muslim pala. O kaya mag-recommend kayo, Mami, weekends po, pwede kayo mag-therapy. Sabadista pala yung mga client nyo. Seventh-day Adventist. They don't do anything on Friday and Saturday. So, you need to really look into this context and their values. Okay, mamaya malalaman nyo, OFW pala yung parents, lolo't lola lang yung nag-aalaga, yung mga ganon. O ngayon, walang social interaction. May kapatid ba? Ganon lagi ang tanong. May siblings ba? O di isasama mo yung siblings sa intervention. Nakukuha nyo? Yun ang occupational therapy talaga. Talagang tinitignan nyo yan. Okay? Pangatlong question, how do you communicate your observations and assessments to your team and clients? Ang tanong ko, meron bang practice sa atin na every month merong case na may magre-report amongst the team of therapists, may magre-report na ito yung client ko, ito yung improvements, ito yung nangyari. Sa mga ospital na, if I'm not mistaken, sa PGH may ganun sila every month. Talagang nagre-report sila ng mga improvements ng clients or pag may complex case, they discuss, manghihingi ng insight from expert. Sa mga private centers ba, sa mga hospitals ba, continuously, dapat may ganyan tayong practice. For example, na-discharge, may na-discharge. Okay, good yun. Pag-usapan niya, ba't na-discharge yung patient? Kasi nag-improve. O pag-usapan niyo rin yung, bakit may isang patient nagre-regress, hindi nag-i-improve. Pag-usapan niyo rin yun. Or kung meron kayong may bago kayong patient, nakakaiba yung diagnosis, pag-usapan niyo rin yun. You communicate it. And of course, kung umabot kayo sa level na maganda yung case, yung ibang OTs kasi in other countries, ang practice nila, sinusulat nila yon, pinapublish sa journal yung case. Para ma-share at para magkaroon ng evidence na ito yung ginawa namin, baka may ibang OT na maka-adapt or magla-learn or pwedeng gamitin yung ginawa nila. Okay? So yon. And then of course, how do you document your client's progress and non-progress? O syempre, sinabi ko na you document it, you have a paper, you have to do a document. Pero ang tanong ko, ang assessments ninyo, make sure that the documents that you give your patients are readable and that they are appropriate to your clients' comprehensive levels. So, anong ibig ko sabihin? Yung documentation natin, kahit sabihin mong gumagamit kay EBP, hindi naman pahabaan. I assume you are in the MAOT kasi OTRPs na kayo halos lahat. So, nagpa-practice yung iba. So, ako, ang rule of thumb ko dyan, pag nag-e-eval, 2 to 3 pages lang. Tapos, as much as possible, yung language natin, medyo yung naiintindihan nila, hindi yung masyadong kung ano-anong ginagawa. Yung syempre alam na natin mga praxis, alam na natin yung mga ganun-ganun, yung mga terms. Pero hindi nyo yun kailangan ipamuka sa patient. Kasi minsan di nila yun, yung mga proprioception, ganyan. Akong ginagawa ko, nilalagyan ko ng Tagalog, kasi nasa Tagalog ako Nilalagyan ko siya ng ibig sabihin. Maski yung main lang, kunyari, ang vestibular, ganyan. Problema sa balanse, ganyan. Tapos minsan yung recommendation din. Kung Bisaya kayo, ibisaya nyo. Lalo na sa huli, basta nilalagyan ko ng notes na parang naiintindihan nyo ba? Kasi kailangan yung intindihin yung report. So nilalagyan ko siya ng English, mayroon din siyang local language, lalo na pag elderly ang kausap at family. Tapos pag na-feel nyo yung family medyo aloof, talagang I make sure na they can easily read my documentation. Kasi minsan may nakikita pa ako, Diyos mio, 10 pages. Sabi ko, hindi na ganyan kasi hindi naman na kayo interns. Kumbaga, importante kasi is nagagamit ba yung document nyo? Nababasa ba siya? Okay. Okay, so that's how you document. Make sure it's comprehensive, it's succinct, it's straight to the point, and it's easily readable by the patients themselves. Tapos kung nagpapa-home program yung patient sa inyo, as much as possible, vernacular ang gamitin na language. So kung Ilonggo kayo, lagyan nyo ng Ilonggo yung home program. Bisaya, Ilocano, Kapampangan. Gawin nyo yun. Kasi i-English nyo yun, pag in-English nyo yung home program, hindi nila naiintindihan, hindi nila yan gagamitin. Hindi nila gagawin. So sayang yung effort. Tama? So use the vernacular. At walang law. Wala sa law natin na sinasabi na only English ang gagamitin. Prove me wrong. But there's no limitations in language. Okay? Kapag ka nga blind, kung pwede lang, i-braille pa natin. Kung pwede lang. Kasi we also work with the people who have low vision, di ba? No? So we need to know these things. And of course, discharge planning. You of course, this is a contentious issue kung meron ba tayong karapatang magpa-discharge. But of course, if you are in a case meeting and you have the evidence. Ako kasi, before ako magsabi na dischargeable na yung patient, I always have evidence with me. In fact, I also have pictures and videos with me to make sure na talagang these are the evidence. It says in my after 6 months, after 2 years, na-achieve na niya lahat ng OT goals. At least on my end, discharge na siya. Meron akong evidence. Hindi lang yung masasabi, ay, parang gusto ko na siya in-discharge kasi puno-puno na ako ng decking. Hindi naman din tama yun. Magdi-discharge tayo kasi ka-discharge na yung patient or yung client natin. Okay? And there has to be, kasi kunyari tatanungin ka lang naman, ano sa tingin niyo sa patient? Sa tingin ko po, discharge na because of this. You need to justify. I understand that we work with doctors and there will always be a contention on that na parang ang idea is ang magdi-discharge lang sila. I was recently at the Pediatric Ambulatory Pediatric Association of the Philippines. I was their speaker in terms of interprofessional collaboration, and I emphasized there that pediatricians should get information from the different team members before they do a decision on discharging. And I think most of them naman agree. And I think there has to be a change in that culture na ang magdi-discharge lang is the physician or the medical doctor. But I think our role now is really to inform them that this patient could be dischargeable. We can always recommend. Hindi naman tayo yung magdi-discharge totally. We can always recommend. We can recommend. Kasi ito yung evidence ko. Kaya ko siya nire-recommend for discharge. Okay. Because of EBP. However, yun nga, there are some, I work with doctors, there are doctors who know EBP, there are doctors who do not want that. Sometimes even if may evidence ako, they still believe na sila yung magde-decide kahit may evidence na. But again, it's a very personal thing, pero have your evidence with you. Okay? There. So ano ba yung mga barriers to EBP? Ito yung list, napakaraming list, and this is according to a systematic review by Upton. And of course, many OTs daw are having a hard time doing EBP because of workload pressures, time pressure, walang resources. Tapos, lalo na sa atin, magka-case conference. Ang tanong, bayad ba yun? Bayad ba kayo sa pagki-case con? So minsan, hindi siya na-encourage kasi dagdag oras tapos hindi ka naman bayad, okay? Or wala man lang incentive, walang mang papansit. O kaya pa ensaymada. Diba? Siguro naman kapag ka magpapa-case con, dapat may pakain man lang, di ba? Sabi nga nila, ang lokohan nga sa social media, di ba? Kapag magpapa-meeting at walang pakain, i-email mo na lang. Diba? Ngayon, uso na dapat pag magpapa-meeting ka, dapat may pakain, di ba? Para pupunta yung tao sa meeting. Joke lang yan sa social media. Pero totoo, di ba? Minsan, pag walang finances, ba't mo pa yan gagawin? Walang training. There's lack of training in EBP, lack of skills. Minsan, kulang sa organizational support. Talagang walang time yung clinic or hindi priority ng clinic yung EBP kasi ang priority is mag-provide lang ng service. Problema naman, pag service ka ng service, walang update, problematic din tayo doon. There is also lack of relevance and quality of the research available for EBP. Lalo na sa atin, sa Pilipinas, napakakaunti ng nagre-research or napakakaunti ng napoproduce na research. Okay, this is one thing that we found, which is, I don't know, mind-blowing. Di ba, 85% of our OTs are working in the pediatric setting, believe it or not, isa yan ang pinaka-counting studies na area. Yung research na output na PEDIA sa Philippines, isa yan sa pinaka-kaunti. Sa totoo. Ang weird, no? Na dapat nga yan yung marami. Okay, ba't ko yan nasabi? Sige, evidence-based. Okay, we're writing a book. We're writing the Occupational Therapy in the Philippines book. It will be launched in 2024, and one of the chapters is on children care. And yung authors nung children care said na it's so difficult to find studies, local studies na PEDIA. So, sabi ko, 85% na OT sa Pilipinas nag-work dyan, tas walang research. Kasi nga, baka nga, yung mga pediatric, assumption ko lang to, baka yung mga pediatric OTs, nagpo-provide lang ng services, walang, hindi nila ini-EBP yan, hindi nila ginagawang case, or hindi nila ginagawang evidence-based. So, something to think about. Lack of communication and collaboration with teams could be a difficulty, requiring too much effort. Tas yung maraming OTs demotivated, or ayaw gawin yan. Yung ibang OTs, may mga nakausap ako, hate nila talaga ang research. Or hate nila yung EBP. Sabi ko, God bless you. Sa mga hindi talaga gusto ang research. Pero sabi ko, kung ayaw talaga ng research, mag-provide na lang ng experience. Yan. I think evidence pa din naman yan. Conflict with client-centered practice kasi minsan, yung gusto ng patient, hindi evidence-based. May mga ganon. May mga patient na hindi siya, ito yung gusto nila, kahit evidence-based, ayaw nila. So may ganon, may dilemma doon. Tapos patient safety and prioritizing treatments. Kasi nga naman, kapag acute care, minsan may gusto kong ipagawa pero just medyo complicated yung patient kasi COVID, tapos may pneumonia, ganyan. Syempre mas uunahin mo yung mga life and death treatments, no? Yung mga kailangan talagang priority before ka mag-provide ng occupational therapy. So you need to consider all these things as barriers to EBP. And of course, so paano natin masusustain yung practice of EBP in OT in the Philippines? Una, syempre, advanced education. So it's good that you are now in your master's program. Mag-masters kayo, hindi necessarily ng OT. You can also do another master's, or you can do a PhD if you like. Pero kung clinician kayo, kung gusto niyo maging clinician, love niyo yung work sa clinics, I think master's na is enough. Hindi niyo na kailangan mag-PhD. Unless kung gusto nyong maging researcher, yan, pwede kayo mag-PhD. And of course, you can do certifications. Okay, kaya lang yan nga, yung sabi ko kanina, make sure na kapag nagsa-certifications kayo, isipin nyo muna bago kayo magbayad ng malaking pera. Evidence-based ba to? Saan ko to gagamitin? Etc. etc. Okay? Pangalawa, consuming research evidence to inform practice and clinical reasoning. Pag sinabing consuming, hindi ka gagawa ng research. As a clinician, if you're doing EBP, you need to continuously read journals. Siguro at your level, ang suggestion ko, kahit isang journal a month, parang magbabasa ka lang. Since nagma-masters kayo, baka kaya niyang dagdagan yung 1 journal a month, di ba? So for sure, mas marami kayong nababasa na journal. Kasi it needs practice before kayo makaintindi ng kung paano ba binabasa yung mga scientific papers. And it's good, no, for your practice as well. Of course, to sustain your practice, reflective practice. Again, it can be done in groups, or if you have, hindi ko alam kung may time pa ba kayo over coffee, pag-uusapan niyo yung evidences by pairs, or I don't know, do you have time in the clinic to talk about these things? But I hope you do that, no, yung reflection on what has been done, what did you have done, what could you have done better, mga ganon. Active mentorship, it is always good to have a mentor as a more senior OT with more experience than you, to help you in your clinical decision making. And I myself I've been still in contact with my mentor, Sir JP Malyari. He's my clinical mentor. So we've been for 14, 15 years. Kasi siya yung CS ko ng intern eh. Hanggang ngayon, we still have a connection. We still talk, we discuss things. And I think it is important. Hindi ko alam kung uso pa ngayon yung mentorship. I don't know. Pero please find someone who can guide you through in your decisions, whether it's in research or in practice. Engage in clinical discourses intentionally and doing research. So if you have the time and the capacity, sumali kayo sa research. Hindi kailangan kayo yung magli-lead ng research. So I do that. I have research groups in the Philippines. There are young OTs who really want to learn how to do research. Nag-a-apply sila, well, wala namang bayad yun, pero nag-a-apply sila to be mentored or mag-a-apprentice para nakakaupo sila sa mga research meetings, nag-data gathering kami, yung mga research na medyo higher level para na-engage sila dun sa process, no? So, I do that for free. So, hindi ako nagpabayad kasi nga mentorship yun eh. So, ang kabayaran na lang dun is nagiging author sila if they qualify to be an author. So, nagiging co-author sila sa publication. So, of course, engage in clinical discourses and don't forget to work with people from different fields, including researchers, educators, expert clinicians, and patients. Huwag niyo kalimutan yung patients. Okay, so these are the things that you can do to sustain your practice. And these can be done while practicing. Hindi kailangan siyang extra. It can be done while you are doing your clinical practice. Kaya nga siya sustainable. So ano yung mga roadblocks natin? This is my last slide. Ano yung mga roadblocks natin para sa EBP? Roadblocks meaning ito yung mga sagabal, no? One sagabal ng pag-EBP is being too comfortable. Okay na ako. I've been doing this for 10 years na. Okay na ako. Ganito na lang yung gagawin ko. Di ba? Shucks. Okay, may mga ganyan pa rin mga OTs pa. Okay na ako, hindi ko na kailangan mag-attend ng mga webinar kasi alam ko na yan. I've been doing that for many, many years. I don't know if you've heard people like that. Please, please don't be like that. Okay, mahirap eh. You are disservicing our patients if you think like this. Pangalawa is, alam ko na yan, alam ko na yan. If you have this thinking, please, hindi nyo po alam lahat. Hindi natin alam lahat. We continuously learn. Our brain is made to adapt. Pangalawa, senior OT na ako eh. Yung ganyang thinking. Senior OT na ako dito eh. Okay. Or ako lang yung OT dito, so I know everything. Tigilan nyo po yan. Tantanan nyo po yung ganyang ugali. Hindi maganda. Kasi you will never learn and you are again disservicing the patient. Tapos yung ganitong thinking. Mag-OT naman yan. Mag-OT naman yung patient with me kahit walang EBP, no? Tutuloy-tuloy lang naman yan dito kahit hindi ako mag-EBP. You are not giving the best quality if you think like this. And hopefully, if you see someone like this, you can call them out and say that's not how it should be. And we need to move forward, no? 2023 na, mga kapatid. Hindi na pwede yung hayahay na lang tayo sa mga patient natin. Okay? And if we are giving 1 hour session for them, let's give the 1 hour to them because they deserve it. Okay, so let's review our aims today. We were able to review the value and purpose of EBP. We went through the 5 processes. I shared with you the different tools available for you, and I'll be sharing more. Christine, I'll email you na lang for all the other resources. And of course, we talked about how to sustain EBP in our everyday practice. So, ano pa bang gusto kong idagdag dito? So to be sustainable, EBP should be practiced with contextual considerations backed up with continuous professional development. So I'm happy because you're here, kahit medyo alam nyo na yung EBP, you're still here to learn more, and sana hindi mawala yung ganitong attitude ninyo to continuously learn. Okay, so if you have any questions after the open discussions, you can contact me in these addresses, and these are my references. Maraming salamat for your time.
Wow, thank you so much, Dr. Michael C., for the very insightful discussion about EBP. We can't wait to hear more about it later. Hi, everyone. I'm Carla, your game master. As much as I want to keep this conversation going, we need to give Dr. Mike and ourselves a break. But this will not be your typical break because we will play a quick game. Are you ready? Is everyone ready to win awesome prizes? I see everyone is ready. Okay, let's get rolling. But first, any guesses on what our icebreaker will be? Hep hep hooray. How about others? Any guesses? Pinoy Henyo. Bring me. Oh, popcorn. Okay, let's see. We have 4 pictures, 1 word. But before we move on to what this game is all about, let me introduce to you the key persons for this game. We have myself, Carla, as your game host for this icebreaker, and we have Miss Regina Urbina as the finance member who will be in contact with today's winners. A gentle reminder, only participants in Zoom can win the prizes, while the ones on Facebook are still encouraged to participate for fun. On to our game mechanics. All right, in this game, there will be 4 pictures that are all served as a clue for you to guess one specific word related to the topic. The goal of the game is to figure out the word based on the 4 pictures as fast as you can. There will be 4 rounds in total. The first round being the easiest, and the 4th and last round is the hardest question. You will be given clues, specifically the number of letters and letter choices to complete the word. The orange boxes that we see here on the screen signify the answer, while the purple boxes have letter clues on it and will be your guide in answering the round. Disclaimer, the letter clues on the purple boxes may or may not be used as a whole to answer the round. So for each round, the participants will be given 30 seconds to answer the question. If no one gets it right after 30 seconds, then the next question will be given. Once there is a winner for that particular round, the game master or I will proceed to the next round. The winner for each round will be the first individual who chats the correct answer on the Zoom chat. The game master will be the one to look at the chat and determine the first person who sent the correct answer. There will be only 1 winner for all rounds. The winners of the first 3 rounds can only win once and will not be able to participate in either the 2nd or 3rd round. For the 4th and last round, everyone has the chance to become the grand prize winner. The 4 winners of the game will be staying in Zoom after the program to give their contact details to Miss Regina Urbina for the giving of prizes. Alright, to get acquainted with the game, let's try our practice round. So here we have the orange boxes for the answers and the purple boxes for our letter clues. Again, the letter clues may or may not all be used, and you have 30 seconds to answer. Alright, occupational therapy. I think everyone answers occupational therapy, and the winner for that round was Miss Karen Larino. But again, that's only a practice round. Okay, now that we're done with the practice round and I think everyone understands the game mechanics, let's begin and get ready for round 1. Question for round 1 is, You'll be given 30 seconds, and I'll be keeping track of the first person who gives the correct answer. Okay, we have someone typing, someone writing, and looking at the corkboard. I wonder what this is. We have 10 seconds left. Okay, I see evidence, evidence-based. Time's up. And the correct answer for round 1 is evidence. The winner for this round was Miss Burgos Beverly. Congratulations. Alrighty, is everyone ready for round 2? Winners of the first 3 rounds can only win once and will not be able to participate in this round and the 3rd round. You may participate again in our last and final round. Alrighty, round 2. Again, you will be given 30 seconds to answer. I see FedEx and ICE. How about let's look at the chat box. I see expertise, therapist. Okay, we have 10 seconds. How about others? Okay, we have expertise and therapist. And time's up. The correct answer is, that's correct, expertise. And our lucky winner for this round is Miss 𝘱𝘐𝘭𝘰𝘬. Congratulations, Miss 𝘱𝘐𝘭. We are now in our round 3. Is everyone still there? Are you ready? Can I see a thumbs up? Can I see a thumbs up from everyone? Okay, on to round 3. Again, you'll be given 30 seconds to answer. Those who've already won have to wait to join again in our last and final round. Okay, I see practice, practical, appraisal. We have 8 seconds. How about practice, okay? And time's up. And the correct answer is appraisal. The winner for this round is Miss Karen Larino. Congratulations, Miss Karen. Okay, we are now on our last and final round. Everyone, including the winners from the first round, may join from the first 3 rounds, may join again if you'd like. This is the round for the grand prize. I wonder what the grand prize is. Are you guys ready? All right, round 4. What do we have for round 4? Let's go, everyone. Wow, that was fast. We still have 15 seconds. That was very fast. I thought the last round would be difficult, but I think everyone was able to guess it right away. So the correct answer is professionalism. The winner, our grand prize winner, is Miss 𝘱𝘐𝘭𝘰𝘬. Okay, congratulations, Miss 𝘱𝘐𝘭𝘰𝘬. The winners for today's icebreaker will receive the following. So our round 1 winner will receive 200 pesos GCash. Our round 2 winner will receive 400 pesos GCash. Our round 3 winner will be receiving 600 pesos GCash. And lastly, our grand prize winner will receive 800 pesos GCash. Please stay after the program to coordinate with Ms. Regina Urbina for the claiming of prizes. Again, congratulations to all winners and thank you for playing, and we hope you had fun.
Okay, Carla, thank you for being such a wonderful game master. I can tell you're a jack of all trades, if you know what I mean.
Yes, I agree. A jack of all trades indeed. Oh, grabe naman yung mga prizes. Parang I wanted to win na rin, no? No?
Mhm. Same here.
All right. Anyway, as promised, we allocated time for questions and answers. First, we'll get a question sent by our respondents through the needs assessment form. Are you ready, Dr. Mai?
Yes, of course.
Perfect. Okay. All right, Dr. Mike, it is somewhat of an unspoken fact that there really are parents out there na mag-insist that they go about things that they think are right or appropriate for their child. So the question is, how can we properly address the parents' conflicting beliefs about the management backed up by EBP without resorting to an argument?
That's a very good question, and I think we tried to touch on that during the webinar. And again, there are two types nga of evidences. So the first one is the research evidence, empirical evidence, and the second one will always be the data and information that we get from the family and the parents. Dapat hindi mag-end up in arguments. Yun naman talaga ang goal. We don't end up in arguments, but we can always have discussions with the parents. If you already think that it is unrealistic, kunyari yung mga expectations nila are very unrealistic, you need to be ready to explain to them bakit hindi siya realistic at the moment. Hindi rin naman din tayo dapat nagbibigay ng false hopes to them na sige, gawin natin yan. O sige, i-try natin yan. Tapos, you would know that it will not. So don't give, wag niyong tapusin yung usapan na, sige, I think magagawa niyo yan even if hindi naman talaga kaya. But I think it is always important to get pieces of information and consider them. Get the information that you think can be doable or reasonable, and use your evidence and expertise. Medyo bigyan nyo rin naman ng sariling importansya yung expertise nyo na. But to me, sabihin nyo po, as an OT, ito po yung nakikita ko pong way, and minsan kasi may mga sobrang insistent na parents to the extreme case. And sometimes, ang ginagawa ko, if you think that I am not giving you what you need and what you want, then I could recommend you to see another occupational therapist po, to maybe to get a second opinion po if you like. Ganon. So, pero to the extreme case yan ha. Hindi yan laging ginagawa. Syempre, nadadaan naman lahat sa mabuting pakiusapan. And I think if the parents, if the family trust you enough, mag-aano naman sila, magbibigay naman sila ng trust sa inyo. Pero, hindi naman yung to the point na dependent na sila sa inyo. So, lagi ko rin sinasabi sa kanila, pero mami, ano po yung sa tingin nyo dito sa ginagawa nating intervention or dito sa plan natin? Ano yung tingin ninyo? Tapos magbibigay sila ng opinion. Ang ginagawa ko, pinoprobe ko So, ini-encourage ko talaga sila. May gusto pa po ba kayong expectations? May goals pa po ba kayo? Kasi some parents naman, on the other hand, masyadong passive. As in, ikaw na lang bahala, ma'am. Ikaw na lang bahala, sir. Ayoko naman ng ganon. So I always tell them, ito po yung nakikita ko pong pwede natin gawin. May gusto pa po ba kayong idagdag? May gusto pa po ba kayong goals? And in that way, nababalanse natin yung expectations nila. And at the same time, make sure naman na you end up with a consensus backed up by both the empirical evidence and yung kanilang preferences para maiwasan natin yung mga arguments. I hope I was able to address that. Hindi siya yung meron pang iba pero siguro yun yung naisip ko at the moment.
Personally, Dr. Mike, that is such a great way to put it. And it's so interesting to me that your answer, you really based it on what our topic is all about. Like we really have to look at evidence and base what we do through EBP. So I think that's a reminder for everyone how important it really is for OTs to engage in EBP. So thank you again, Dr. Mike.
Yes, I would have to agree, especially as a new professional, very timely this discussion and the question, because I also have like parents who are still in the denial stage, so I really have to show them like, this is the hierarchy of stuff, and siguro parang naiintindihan nila slight, pero not at most yet. So parang I do it slowly until we get into like a collaboration, I think, yeah, for the kid and the patient as well. All right. Anyway, thank you for that, Dr. Mike. Next question this is a winning question. Candidate number 2, your question is, all right, it's from a Zoom participant. Hello, Dr. Mike. I work as an occupational therapist in the pediatric setting. I realized that I'm having difficulty collaborating with special education teachers. What can we do now that we're still dealing with this?
That's a very good question because I had my experience as a clinician was to be a school-based OT. So I was working as a school-based OT in a school, and that was one of the most enjoyable practice settings that I've been into because it's not a clinical setting. Because I also get patients na wala naman talagang diagnosis, but their issues there are writing, how to eat recess and socialize during recess and lunch. So, mga nakakatawa yung mga goals kasi very occupation. So, and hindi natin maiiwasan to work with special education teachers and even ABA and speech therapists. So, ito lang yung ginagawa ko lagi sa kanila. Okay, to get the point straight, when you're an OT, you always think that you always have to have this mindset that you're part of a team. You're not higher. You're not higher or you're not lower than anything. You're part of a team. So, ko yung, lalo na sa mga SPED, kasi nga, syempre, kapag they work in a school, I always put myself like, I am a support and a partner to the SPED teacher. Okay, I always think that way. Tapos ang ginagawa ko talaga, kasi nga bago yung OT tapos syempre dominated ng mga SPED. Syempre wala kang laban doon. Tandaan nyo, papasok lang kayo sa school, you're not employed there. So ang ginagawa ko, what I always do, especially if the SPED is yung medyo mas matanda sa atin, nagpapakilala ako. So, hello po, ako po si Mike, isa po akong OT. Alam niyo yung parang courtesy call? Yung parang you humble yourself and you say that, hi, I'm an OT and ako po yung OT ni Daniel and I'm working with the mom of Daniel and I was consulted for this and that. And parang you have to show respect to them. And I'm here po as a support po and a partner and let's collaborate po. Let's hope to support Daniel in whatever he needs in his education, in school and ganito. And I'm here po to be a support po alongside with you. Parang I'm going to handhold with you. Ganon yung tone. Hindi yung parang OT ako, I'm a ganito, ganyan. I know everything. Pag ganun kasi yung tingin mo sa sarili mo and ganun yung impression na binibigay mo sa kanila, they will not talk to you. Una sa lahat, they are the ones who see the patient more than you. So meron silang somehow more authority over the patient. So ang ginagawa ko is I show myself as a support and a partner with them. At nagko-courtesy call talaga ako sa mga teachers. As in, that's what I do. Kaya yung mga teachers na nakaka-work ko, they really like us. Like, uy, may OT, nandito yung mga OT, parang they make it look like, I make it look like na gusto nila tayo sa classrooms nila. So I do that in that way, parang the teachers are excited that there are OTs helping them rather than OTs dominating them. Yun yung ginagawa ko para maiwasan yung work with them. Kasi I always respect and I always tell them na sobrang ganda po ng ginagawa nyo. I really like what you're trying to do. Or if I don't agree with what they're doing, for example, sa writing, teach, pwede po ako mag-suggest. Ano yun? Pwede po nating lagyan ng highlights po yung mga lines ng worksheet. Dagdagan po natin ng visuals para mas madali. Try lang po natin. Okay lang po ba yun? O sige, ganyan, ganyan. Tapos pag nag-effect, parang, teach din na nyo, ang ganda nung ano nyo. Okay yan na. O di, at least nakikita mo na they are being helped and supported. And naglo-learn din tayo sa kanila. And I sa totoo lang, when you work with SPED teachers, marami din kayong malo-learn sa kanila. So, ganun lang yung approach para don't act like as if you, alam mo yun ba, I'm a health professional. No. You work in partnership and closely with them. Courtesy call. Napakahalaga ng courtesy call.
I see. Thank you so much, Dr. Mac. I would totally agree, no? Parang the bottom line lang is respect begets respect, di ba?
Yes. Oo, sobra ganun. And I really want to let you know na we cannot achieve our outcomes without the SPED, without them. And I also do the same with the ABAs. If there is an ABA around, I also introduce myself, and alam naman natin may contention, pero respect talaga. Respect. Para respetuhin din tayo. Okay? Sige, yun lang muna.
Okay, and I totally agree with you, Dr. Mike. I also want to say that I'm more inspired to work as a school-based OT because I actually also really want to. And most, if not all of my friends work in a pediatric setting, which brings us back to what you said. No, it's crazy that 85% of OTs in the Philippines work in the pediatric setting. But then again, we should really, really engage in EBP more because like what Dr. Mike said, we're really lacking in that aspect. Okay. I believe we can still squeeze in one more question from a participant on Facebook Live. So the question is, Dr. Mike, can you give an example on how to do parent coaching to aloof parents?
Interesting question, and I think very relevant. Yung parent coaching, there are different ways to do it, and there's also evidence on the different steps on how that can be done. If you know the 𝘬𝘐𝑆mith book, there is also a way on how to do family-centered practice, program development in that area. Hindi ko masasabi specifically what needs to be done, but for aloof parents, ang pinaka-important dyan is at the first session pa lang, mafe-feel nyo na yan eh. If the parents are, I don't know, if you have that clinical reasoning, first session pa lang, mafe-feel nyo na, these parents are super supportive, or these parents are in denial, or still, may mga parents na confused like disoriented. Yung tipong, we don't know what to do, let us know everything what we need to do. Of course, that's not possible. So what I always do with them is, I ask them to ilabas nila yung gusto nilang malaman, or I allow them to express all their frustrations, and because in that way makukuha ko yung trust nila at makukuha nila yung trust ko. Yun kasi yung kailangan nating ma-establish sa kanila, na may trust. Kasi minsan nagiging aloof sila sa atin. Wala silang tiwala. Parang lalo na kunyari you're 23 years old. You're 23 years old and you're dealing with parents who are 45 or 40s. I remember when I first worked and I went to a clinic, I applied in a clinic, and in-endorse sa akin yung mga patients kasi mag-a-America na yung senior OT. So in-endorse sa akin yung patient, 12 patients yung i-endorse niya. Ang natira lang 2. Ang sabi sa akin ng clinic manager, because you're too young, they don't trust you because you're a new grad, tapos alam mo yon, yung parang you don't have an experience. So, nako, naranasan ko talaga yan. So parang, when I was starting, talagang, hindi, kailangan kong galingan. Kailangan marunong ako to work with families. Kasi talagang hindi mo maiiwasan. And I take no offense on it kasi ganun talaga eh. Lalo na, problema yan ng mga fresh grads. Parang, why will I trust my child to you? Hello, anong alam mo, may mga ganun. So, okay lang yun. Huwag kayo ma-offend. Ganun ang buhay. Okay? So, it should be a challenge for you na galingan to work with parents. So pag aloof sila, trust, let them express, allow them to express and share. And also, always communicate with them. I think yun yung key. You always need to communicate with them, kahit sa phone or sa text. Like, if you need anything po, ma'am, I'm available 8 to 5. You can always contact me, call me. If it's not possible for you to go to the clinic, we can have a short Zoom meeting or we can have a Google Meet meeting. I'm available. And in that case, you can set the ground that these parents can trust you, and they can fully trust their child with you to be a partner, to be a supporter of their child. Lalo na kung nasa pediatric setting kayo, medyo malaking issue yan. And of course, in mental health, ganun din sa adult setting. Trust talaga kasi yan eh. Kasi tandaan nyo, pagka sa OT kasi 'di ba, months, even years pa nga minsan yung relationship natin with them. So it's like a commitment, and we need to establish that. So communicate, let them express themselves so that you can have mutual trust, and so it will be easier for you to go through the OT process.
Perfect. I couldn't have said it better myself. And I'm sure our viewers are jotting down notes about what you just said, Dr. Mike, because I do see young faces. I'm sure you've also what's that? You've experienced that. Now, there really are parents na I don't know, maybe that's just kanang normal siguro na kanang they'll think na you're not competent, you're not capable just because of your age, diba? Kanang there's if you watch Friends, the show, they did make an episode about that na where there was a doctor that was Phoebe's doctor na she didn't want that doctor because she was young. So that really happens. And like what Dr. Mike said, we should take that as a challenge.
And KitKat, I want to add, though, I had an experience in one seminar I did with families. Tapos parang may isang father na nagtanong sa akin, how can you teach about that? Ikaw nga single, wala kang anak. How can you say that? Alam mo yun, yung minsan personal na yung pero so I answered them. Sinabi ko, yes, I agree, I understand, I'm single, wala akong, pati personal na, nalalaman nyo na, no? So, single po ako, okay? At wala po akong anak, wala rin po akong asawa, wala akong anak sa labas. Pero ibig ko sabihin, sinabi ko, but I know this because I studied 4 years in a university. I have a master's degree, and theoretically and skills wise, I have trained here for 10 to 12 months in PGH and in different centers. Inaral po namin to and I was trained to do this. That's why nasasabi ko po ito. Parang ganon. So, kailangan lang marunong kang hindi yung parang, oy, pinipersonal mo na ako, ganyan. Parang, okay, that's why. So, yan. I think there's a question from Grace. Maybe I can answer this. Grace Perez? Tama ba? Yan,
Yes,
sa
sir.
chat. Sa chat. Magandang question to before we end. I don't know. So Grace asked, good afternoon. Have you ever dealt with a challenging patient or family who is well-versed in our field and has questioned your knowledge, focusing on your intervention? How did you professionally approach the client and gain his or her trust? Yeah, oo. Hindi mawawala yan. especially if the parents are doctors or the family are knowledgeable. Okay. You will expect these people questioning you, and if they question you, you need to clarify first. What is it that you don't understand? Or i-clarify niyo yung question nila. Baka kasi mali yung tone of questioning nila. And bakit niyo i-clarify? Kasi it gives you more time to think. Don't answer the question right away. So ask them, can you please clarify question? Can you please unpack the question to me? O diba, when you use unpack, nako baka maano sila. Can you unpack this to me? And then, and let's try to address them one by one. Kaya important na nagbabasa kayo ng mga current updates, nagbabasa kayo ng evidence, kasi it will guard you and armor you with the things these family and parents would ask you later on. So, yung iba kasi, feeling ko lang I'm just assuming that some parents act this way or they try to question you because andun pa rin sila sa denial and angry stage. So you have to understand this, na parang hindi nyo papatulan kasi may pinagdadaanan sila. So you have to make sure na, I understand that you are still confused and I think there needs to be clarification in this matter. And you don't have to answer them right away. How do you do that? You tell them, I have taken note of all these questions and clarifications. And in our next session, I will get back to you with some evidence because I will need some time to research on it. So if you can give me time to give you a more informed information, then I think that would be better. Pagka ginanon nyo sila, makikita nila, ay, very professional. Very professional ang OT. O di, talbog nyo sila. Ibig sabihin, alam nila that you're doing your job and you're serious about your job. Hindi yung parang, kasi mami, ganito, ganito, ganito. Wag ganon. If you really don't, wag din kayong mahiyang sabihin, actually, ma'am, you know, I am still unsure of what to answer you at this moment because this is a question that really, it's new to me and I will need some time to investigate this. If you can give me until next week, we can discuss this. So I think that's how you, alam niyo yung professional behavior, ganun siya. That's how you do it. And you also need to know that you need to inform your families and clients. Hindi nyo alam lahat. Or you can also add, I will consult with my mentor about this case, about this. I have a senior OT who has this number of years of experience and I will consult him or her because she has experience on these issues. Pagka may parent na ganun ang sagot, I'm sure maano sila, ay wow, very professional naman. Ay wow, ano naman, ang galing naman ng teacher. O di doon, magigain na nila yung trust nyo, hopefully. So yun lang.
Yes, thank you so much, Sir Mike. I think parang bottom line lang this is you validate their feelings, their questions, kasi it's all stemming or rooting lang din naman from their concerns for their child. All right. Anyway, at this juncture, we have already ended our Q&A with Dr. Mike. I would like to thank you again, Dr. Michael Sy, for gracing us with your presence and imparting your knowledge on this topic.
On behalf of the Cebu Doctors University Master of Arts in Occupational Therapy program, we would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to you, our resource speaker, without whom this program would not be achievable. We now present to you our certificate of appreciation. This certificate is presented to Michael Palapal Sy, PhD, MHPED, OTRP, for imparting his valuable knowledge to all participants of the webinar entitled How to EBP, a Guide for Fieldwork Students and New Professionals, live via Facebook and Zoom, given on the 5th of March. Signed by the MAOT Program Director of Cebu Doctors University, Mrs. Bea Katrina Maximo Andrino, MAOT OTRP, OTR, our Batch 27 representative, Kimberly M. Boncales, OTRP, and our Batch 28 representative, Carla Anel S. Peña. Thank you again for being with us here today.
Yes, and with that, Dr. Mike, that was an excellent and very informative webinar. Thank you once again. Before we wrap up the program, is there anything that you would like to share or announce to the crowd? Is there anything that you would like to share, Doc Mike, or announce to everyone here present today?
Magpa-plug ako? Ano? Wala naman. Just be great and please serve the people. And huwag niyo kalimutan yung puso at isip sa inyong ginagawa as an OT. And I'm very proud of you. And I hope that we cannot change the world, but we can help change the lives of people, one person at a time. So take it easy and please huwag niyong kalimutang mag-self-care, huwag niyong kalimutan magpahinga, and I really hope that you all do get your master's degree. Yun lang, congrats!
Aw, thank you so much, Dr. Mike. That's very insightful and inspiring. I'm sure not just for me, but for everyone watching right now.
Yes, I agree. Sana all know proud. All right. Before we end our program for today, we'd like to invite you to one of our upcoming seminars. On March 11 from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., we will be discussing community-based rehabilitation in the Philippines. This will take place at the CDU at AVR, but don't worry because it will also be live streamed on Facebook for anyone who won't be able to attend in person.
Additionally, there will be 2 programs on March 12. One will be in the Barangay Meeting Hall, Barangay Ibabaw, Mandawi City, on March 12 from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Expectant and pregnant mothers are encouraged to attend the seminar. The other one is the Libreng OT Medical Mission Para sa Katauhan, which will be held in the Talamban Sports and Cultural Center from 8 in the morning to 5 p.m.
Yes, and the last program we have for you will be a webinar titled Understanding Work Conditioning and Work Hardening in OT on March 19 at 1:00 p.m. via Zoom. We will talk about how to work smarter, not harder. All right, and with that, please follow us on social media to stay up to date on the latest announcements on the upcoming webinars.
We really hope you had a great time during today's webinar. Dom, it's been such a pleasure co-hosting with you today. We wish you all a lovely evening. Goodbye for now.
Yes, likewise, KitKat, before we end, attention to GCash prize winners. Please send the finance head a message with your GCash number information so you can claim your prize. Once again, congratulations. And for those who have more questions, please feel free to contact Dr. Mike via social media at Dr. Mike COT or sign me at 𝘧𝘰𝘭𝑐𝑡𝑐H. All right, once again, thank you so much, everyone, for being with us here today. I hope you all had a great time and see you on our upcoming programs today. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
For our platinum sponsors, Creatrix Therapy Center, the Sensory Play Pediatric Occupational Therapy Center, Twin Town, Big Physical Therapy and Scoliosis Center, Leo Mapagu and Maria Natad Mapagu, Prutasan ni Adan, Side Effect Solutions Corporation, wash. Potentials Therapy Center. The online shop. I Learned Educational Intervention and Therapy Center. ESMA Life of Insular Life Insurance Company. Mindy Mangakan. Beyond Limits Learning and Therapy Services Incorporated. Therapy Works Incorporated. Big Jewelry Creation. For our gold sponsors, 𝘏𝐻𝐵𝐻𝐵𝐻. 𝘧𝘰𝐭𝐭𝐰𝑒𝐪 Therapy Clinic. RLIM Community Pharmacy and Medical Clinic. Building Bridges Therapy Center. For our silver sponsors, Mr. Corndog, J&T Madela Drop-Off Point, Great Times Travel and Tours, Neurosciences Unit, Pathway Therapy Center, Skin and Toes Valley Makati Branch, Pathways Center for Child Development, Down Syndrome Association of the Philippines Incorporated Cebu Chapter, Little Palm Occupational Therapy Clinic. For our ex-deal sponsors, the Company Cebu, Little Craft, Backroom Studios Cebu, Third Wave Coffee, Little Champions Academy Incorporated. Thank you once again for your support. For our platinum sponsors, Creatrix Therapy Center,